The Legend of Robin Hood. Introduction. In the heart of medieval England, during a time of oppressive rulers and crushing taxes, arose a hero whose name became a symbol of hope and justice, Robin Hood. Living in the sprawling Sherwood Forest with his loyal band of outlaws, Robin Hood fought for the poor and oppressed, stealing from the rich to give to the needy. His story is one of bravery, rebellion, and an unyielding sense of fairness that continues to captivate audiences to this day. Robin's early life. Robin was once a nobleman, born into a wealthy family and trained in the arts of swordsmanship, archery, and leadership. However, his life took a tragic turn when his father was wrongfully accused of treason by corrupt officials and their family estate was confiscated by the crown. Left with nothing but his skill and wits, Robin wandered the countryside, witnessing firsthand the suffering of the peasants under the heavy yoke of taxes and cruel laws. One fateful day, Robin found himself in Sherwood Forest, where he encountered a group of men who had fled their villages due to injustice. These men, outlaws in the eyes of the law, became his first allies. Together, they vowed to fight against tyranny and restore hope to the common people. The making of an outlaw. Robin soon earned a reputation as a cunning and daring outlaw. His weapon of choice was the longbow, and his unmatched skill in archery made him a formidable opponent. One of his first acts of defiance was ambushing a tax collector's caravan laden with gold meant for the Sheriff of Nottingham. Robin and his band seized the riches and distributed them among starving villagers. News of his deeds spread quickly, and soon, peasants began to revere him as a folk hero. As his band of followers grew, so did Robin's resolve. Among his companions were Little John, a towering figure of immense strength and courage. John was Robin's closest friend and second in command. Their friendship famously began with a duel on a narrow bridge. Friar Tuck, a jovial but fiercely loyal monk who provided both spiritual guidance and strategic advice. Will Scarlet, known for his fiery temper and skill with the sword, Will was a vital member of the band. Maid Marian, Robin's beloved, a noblewoman with a heart for justice. She risked her life to provide information and resources to Robin's cause. Adventures and rebellion. The Battle of the Bridge. In one of their most famous encounters, Robin challenged a group of royal soldiers attempting to cross through Sherwood Forest. Using clever traps and his knowledge of the terrain, Robin and his men managed to defeat the heavily armed troops without losing a single life. This victory emboldened the people and enraged the Sheriff of Nottingham, who vowed to capture Robin at all costs. The Archery Tournament. The sheriff devised a cunning plan to lure Robin out of hiding by hosting a grand archery tournament, with a golden arrow as the prize. Disguised as a peasant, Robin entered the competition and astounded the crowd with his unparalleled skill, splitting an arrow already lodged in the bullseye. Despite being recognized by the sheriff, Robin managed to escape with the help of his men. Saving Maid Marian. When the sheriff discovered that Marian was aiding Robin, he arrested her and planned to use her as bait. Robin, unwilling to let her suffer, devised a daring rescue. Under the cover of darkness, Robin and his men infiltrated the sheriff's castle. Using clever disguises and Robin's unmatched archery, they freed Marian and humiliated the sheriff by releasing his prisoners and stealing his treasure. The King's Gold. In one of their most audacious acts, Robin and his band intercepted a royal convoy carrying gold to King John, who was funding wars abroad while his people starved. Robin distributed the gold to the poor, solidifying his status as the people's champion. Conflict with the Sheriff of Nottingham. The Sheriff of Nottingham became Robin's most persistent and dangerous enemy. He enlisted mercenaries, set traps, and even attempted to bribe Robin's allies, but all his efforts were thwarted. Robin's resourcefulness and the loyalty of his band proved too strong for the sheriff's schemes. In one final showdown, the sheriff led an army into Sherwood Forest to crush Robin and his men. Using their intimate knowledge of the forest, Robin's band lured the soldiers into a series of traps, forcing them to retreat in disgrace. Robin Hood and King Richard. The turning point came with the return of King Richard the Lionheart, who had been away fighting in the Crusades. Disguised as a common traveler, King Richard ventured into Sherwood Forest and witnessed Robin's deeds firsthand. Moved by Robin's sense of justice and the loyalty of the people, the king revealed his identity and pardoned Robin and his men. Under King Richard's rule, the oppressive taxes were lifted, and the corrupt officials, including the sheriff, were stripped of their power. Robin was restored to his rightful place as a noble, but he chose to remain in Sherwood Forest, ensuring that justice prevailed. Legacy. The legend of Robin Hood continues to inspire people across the world. His story symbolizes the timeless struggle for fairness, equality, and the courage to stand up against tyranny. Whether as a rebellious outlaw or a noble champion of the poor, Robin Hood remains a beacon of hope for all who dream of a better world.